Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the archive. This week, I continue my series on the Archons and Death Angels of Kult, Divinity Lost by talking about Binah, the Archon of Community, and Sathariel, the Death Angel of Exclusion. Both of these keep people locked into the lie in their own unique ways. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about these two. Binah has a number of alternate names. The most common and well known of these is the Black Madonna. You see, Binah is the archetypical mother figure. And this is what makes her such a powerful image. Her principle is ostensibly community, but it's more focused around the building block of community, family. And Binah's focus on family starts at the most basic elements. She is represented in keeping people in the lie by just the pressures of family and community. Think about the old sayings, just you wait until your father gets home. Or, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? Type responses, type pressures that are put on people. And you realize that this is a foundational pressure. Now, in the Middle Ages, Binah conflicted with Kether over the noble families. But as time has gone on, the 20th century saw her weakened a bit with the strengthening of capitalism and the weakening of the traditional family structures. Remember that really before the 50s, the whole idea of the nuclear family wasn't the core of the family structure. It was the extended families, or the families living all around an area. And these created the communities where you had a neighborhood where everyone was either related or knew someone, was close friends with people who were related to someone. And with the rise of the nuclear family, this fragmented up those neighborhoods because the children would grow up, move away, maybe move far from their parents. But capitalism, of course, strengthened this breaking apart by putting more focus on the individual and their individual wealth and prosperity. But we've come to a time where these bonds are getting strengthened again by such processes as people going away to college and not being able to afford to live on their own afterwards, so they have to come back, move back in with their parents. And this puts them back in the sway of the social pressures of the community, of family. At the same time, the various means of social media allow people to communicate with family, friends, people they don't know, across the nation, across the world, much easier. So again, these pressures of community get focused. These are different communities, And in some ways, they form synthetic families. But these build, these focus. And Binah is in an interesting point. And it's going to be interesting to see how she adjusts, how she learns to use her influence in this new modern age. But she's already behind her dark reflection. Sathariel, the Death Angel of Exclusion, has learned how to use these pressures so much more effectively. Where Binah is the Black Madonna and the Great Mother, Sathariel is the Princess of Angst and the Devouring Mother. You see, she feeds on the outcasts, the pariahs of society, those who are depressed, suicidal, disconnected from the rest of people, those who will, when they die, find their memories in her fortress in Inferno. They are going to be the high school guy who goes and shoots up his school, then turns the gun on himself. They're going to be the Vietnam vet who is so unable to cope with the world back home that he camps out in the forest because he can't deal with people or anything else. It's going to be the teenage girl who is bullied so horribly online that one day, while her mother is cooking dinner, she just hangs herself in her bedroom. These are the people that Sathariel seeks out. These are the things that Sathariel feeds on, that her servants push and nudge and shove. It's her servants who would make sure that the high school shooter got the gun. It's her servants who would find ways to keep that teenage girl from getting the messages that might give her just that bit of hope that keep her alive. And these are what Sathariel represents, what she looks for. And honestly, I really feel that of all the Death Angels, if she is not the worst, she's pretty darn close. It's really a very hard tie between her and Chegadiel, which is really the worst. And yet, she helps reinforce the lie through completely different means than Binah. You see, Binah reinforces the lie by the simple method of you are too busy looking at those around you, looking to support your community, looking to tell people what you think and all that, that you never see the cracks. That you never see the cracks in the lie. You never get those glimpses into the other realms. Sathariel, though, she pushes people to that depressed point where they're not even going to look for them. Because to do that would take effort, energy. And Sathariel effectively feeds on loneliness and depression. She is the worst way of maintaining the lie, because she eventually pulls all her followers down into the underworld, down into nothingness itself. And she tries to pull her victims the same way. Because when you feel like you are nothing, when you feel like you have no value, that even among your family, even among your so-called friends, you are an outcast. That's destroying you on such a fundamental level, and that is preventing you from doing the things necessary, developing the strong will necessary to break through that lie, to push through and see the exaltation that is possible for humanity once more. And that, I think, is the worst of all possible outcomes. Because even with Chagadiel's abuse, you can break through that. You can rise above that, given time. The points that Sathariel pushes people to, there's very often no coming back from there. Next week, I'm going to do the next two Archons, or the next Archon and next Death Angel. The Archon Chesed, the Archon of Safety, and Gamichikoth, the Death Angel of Fear. Until then, I would like you all to remember to have fun and keep gaming.